Days after the announcement that former South Dakota Governor Bill Janklow had been moved to hospice care, he lost his battle with cancer. We remember the former governor first on Fox tonight. Well, his name is synonymous with South Dakota politics, but just 2 months after announcing that he was dying of brain cancer, former governor and congressman Bill Janklow passed away today at the age of 72.
Janklow has been referred to as colorful, controversial, and combative at times. But one of his loyal supporters once said to me, "There's one thing you know for sure with Bill Janklow, he'll always stand up for South Dakota." Tonight, folks across the state are remembering the man and his many years of public service.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I, William Janklow, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Almost 33 years to the day after being sworn in as South Dakota's governor, Republican Bill Janklow died this morning at the age of 72. His life in public office began in 1975 when he became South Dakota's Attorney General. But his no-nonsense leadership style became very clear the moment he took the governor's seat in 1979.
I'm tired of hearing people talk about the urban and the rural, the East River, the West River, the Indian and the whites, all those kinds of fights going on. We've got fights in higher education. We can't agree on a railroad plan. We've got problems in elementary and secondary education, and I really think if we can get 688,000 people pulling together, we can whip them all.
Term limits forced Janklow out of the governor's office after serving 2 terms. But in 1994, he was elected governor again and served another 8 years. 2 former state legislators from the Black Hills say they were honored to serve with him. J.P. Donovan said today that Janklow didn't always do what was politically correct, but he always did what he believed was best for South Dakota.
He made those tough decisions, and he took you along with him. And as a legislator, you knew right where you stood with him, whether he agreed with you or didn't agree with you. And he was tough to get by, let me tell you that.
I've said it for years and years and years, and I will continue to say it. Bill Janklow will go down in history as one of our greatest governors who managed to accomplish the greatest things, and history will treat him kindly.
As governor, Janklow was credited with saving railroad service in South Dakota, attracting credit card banks to the state, and putting inmates to work while also connecting South Dakota's classrooms to the internet. Janklow moved from the state capital to our nation's capital when he was elected to the U.S. House in 2002. He resigned after causing a fatal traffic crash the following year and serving time in jail for involuntary manslaughter. The former governor's body will lie in state at the Capitol Rotunda in Pierre on Tuesday before being transferred to Sioux Falls for a funeral service the next day. Current South Dakota Governor Dennis Dugard says Bill Janklow will always be remembered as a strong leader and one of the state's most important governors.
Dugard isn't alone sharing words of kindness about the former leader. Former U.S. Senator Tom Daschle says Janklow was a larger-than-life political figure who worked hard to get things done to make South Dakota a better place. Daschle says even though he's a Democrat, Janklow, a Republican, ended up being one of his closest friends. Senator John Thune shared the same words, also calling Janklow a larger-than-life figure. He says nobody could equal his level of energy. Senator Tim Johnson says he's known Janklow for more than 30 years and noted his fearlessness for controversy. Johnson called the former governor one of the most colorful governors in the state's history. And U.S. Representative Kristi Noem, who holds the seat Janklow once held, says he served the state with everything he had. Well, lawmakers aren't the only people remembering Bill Janklow and his role in South Dakota politics today.
A lot of people in the Black Hills had an opinion of the former state leader, some positive, some negative. Tessa Thomas talked with a few locals today to get their thoughts on Janklow's passing. Good evening, Tessa.
Good evening, Justin and Julie. The news that Bill Janklow had passed this morning spread quickly on social media, and it seems everyone who knew of the man had something to say about his legacy.
I believe Governor Janklow will be remembered as a pioneer of his own politics. He was a unique individual. You either loved him or you hated him, and a lot of people are really remembering him today for various decades of work. He was a 4-term governor, and I don't think there'll be another one like him in a long time.
I'm hoping that he'll be remembered. I know that he didn't have a very good history when he was in office, but I hope that he'll be remembered for the good things that he did, and that his memory will live on with love and respect.
I think he'll be remembered as a pretty good governor. He did a lot for the state. His driving record's a little questionable, but other than that, he's a pretty good guy.
His son says his father's funeral has been set for Wednesday morning at Our Savior's Lutheran Church in Sioux Falls. A reception and burial will follow. Governor Dennis Dugard has requested that flags across South Dakota fly at half-staff until the burial next week. Julie, back to you.
All right, thank you, Tessa.